Should you hire a coach or should you just go it alone? We answer that in today's episode 171 of the Client by Client podcast, coming at you now. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In the last episode, optimize these 4 pillars to succeed in business. And no, it's not how you attract new leads in. No, it's not how you convert them into clients. No, it's not even about what you deliver. But when you optimize and figure out these 4 pillars in your business and in your life, everything gets far more simple and it gets you on the fast track to success as an online coach. Be sure to backtrack 1 episode so you can hear my thoughts on these 4 pillars and why you must optimize them if you want to succeed in the short, mid, and long term of your online business. In today's episode, we're doing an old school versus, an old school showdown. You might recall that in episode 32, we pitted one-on-one coaching versus group coaching. And in episode 23, we did Facebook groups versus email list building. And in episode 70, we did payment plans for accepting in, when your clients sign up versus pay in fulls, PIFs. And in episode 135, we did organic conversations versus passive conversations for landing new clients. And then you might also recall most recently in episode 151, we did sales calls, a 1-call close versus a 2-call close. So if you're new to the Client by Client show and to the Client by Client and my leverage coach philosophies, then you might want to backtrack to those episodes. That way you can understand kind of the dichotomy and the differences between these different paths that you can take in your online business, because these decisions that you make will largely determine your success, your speed of success, and also kind of the individuality and the uniqueness of your online business. So today we're pitting up against hiring an online coach versus just going it alone. Let's hop in and let's start at the top with the good of hiring a coach. One of the first things that you're going to benefit from when you hire an online coach, and this is under the assumption that you hire a qualified, well-rounded, well-balanced, highly talented online coach for your business, or this even, I think, applies to a life coach or something like that, a relationship coach, a health coach, something like that as well. The first thing that you're gonna benefit from, kind of one of the first good things, the first pros, is you're gonna benefit from having a plan. You're gonna benefit from someone who's already been there and done that and can see what it is you're working with, and for lack of better words, kind of mold that and help you to shape your vision. In fact, I think that at the top level, when you work with a really good coach, they're gonna have a vision for you, and in fact, they're gonna have an even bigger vision for you and for your online business. And so when you enter an environment and you work with a mentor that has a vision, let alone a bigger vision for you, and can take what it is you're already working with and help you shape that into a better direction, into a more proven direction, I think that you're just setting yourself up for success. And I think that that also instills for those of us that have some mindset limitation, it can help you to overcome those things with their support, which gets you to new levels, which gets you to break through new ceilings, new levels, new devils. You've heard me talk about that quote from Vince Del Monte, a fellow business coach as well in the fitness space. And I think that's so true. And a lot of us are battling the same devils and same levels over and over again. But when you work with a coach that has a plan, a proven plan, and can guide you through it, I think it just puts you in a far better success rate and chances of success is what I'm trying to say, to actually break through those levels. The next benefit from working with a qualified coach is you're also going to get accountability. When you work with a coach, whether it's one-on-one or in a group, or even if it is buying an online course or something like that, if there's any at all live aspect to it, and specifically for one-on-one, for this one, for those of you that can afford working with someone one-on-one and that has the availability for one-on-one, there is nothing worse than showing up to your call and not getting done the thing you promised from the one before. And there's nothing worse than that feeling. It's almost like back in school when class is coming up and you haven't done the homework yet. That's, what I'm guilty of, and that's why I can relate with that so much. And so when you have accountability, this will cause for you to play at a different level. This cause for you to not want to disappoint your coach. This will call for you to want to live up to the expectations of the vision that your coach has for you. Because for many of us, when we work with a coach, that's our first time working with them. We may have looked up to them for a couple years. We might have been in their world or just found out about them. And so therefore that coach doesn't know about us. They don't know about you. And because you're taking action and investing in yourself, and because you are through that so willing to get fearless feedback and to face kind of the music sometimes, so to say, in the bad parts of your business that you're trying to fix up, well, that coach is going to have a big vision for you, and they're going to think the world of you already for taking those steps. And so the last thing you want to do is let them down. So you get a level of accountability that is unmatched when it comes to just listening to podcasts or just being in Facebook groups, or when it comes to even accountability buddies or things like that. They're going to let you off the hook. They're going to be easier on you. You can go and do your own thing in your free time. But when you have a day and time on your calendar every week or every month or every other week, whatever it is, and you got to get things done before then, and you got to implement and do and get results to report back, it's going to call for you to play at a higher level. This is something that I don't see often talked enough about. And it's one of the benefits that is not typically pitched or even considered that can be worth your entire investment, whether that's a small investment or that's one of the largest ones you've ever made in yourself and in your self-development. The last, and there's so many of them, I'm just wanting to include kind of the biggest points here, and for the sake of time, also condense this down. The last big pro I want to talk about when it comes to working with a really good coach and being in a really good coaching program is community. When you work with a coach one-on-one, and when that coach isn't necessarily focused as an online coach, and here's what I mean. There's a lot of mentors out there who are still full-time in their online business. They have revenue coming from tons of different places, but they take on 1, 2, or 3 students to mentor every year or every quarter. So the revenue they get from coaching, that's their weekend money. That's their going towards taxes money. That's their keeping them fresh and in the game money. And for some online mentors, coaching is never the number one thing in their online business. And for the coaches where they're focused in on coaching as their bread and butter, and they consider themselves coaches and they take coaching seriously, and that's everything or the majority of what they do, those kind of coaches are oftentimes going to have a community. They might have a free level community, but they're also going to have a paid community where all of their clients get to interact together. And if you've ever, for those of you here in the States, if you've ever been to a Walmart versus going into a Costco, you will know the different kind of people that they attract. And the fact that you have to pay for a Costco membership entirely changes the environment. Everyone inside of there is nicer to each other. They treat the store better. They treat it like it's their own to a degree. And they're far more likely to interact with each other, the customers, and not be rude versus going somewhere like a Walmart where the barrier to entry is you have to have a shirt on and shoes on, and even that sometimes is debatable if you've ever been to a Walmart. And so when you go into a paid community, the level in which the other people you're going to be surrounded with, it just levels up, and that calls for you to perform at a higher level and to bring your best. And that right there is, like, I almost want to say something that you can't pay for, but in today's day and age, you absolutely can. And this is one of the benefits you get when you work with a coach. So the 3 benefits we're focused on here today in today's showdown for hiring a coach. The good is you get a plan and you get a better vision for yourself and for your future. You get accountability with the mentor, and you also get for the good coaching programs, you get community. You get to be around other people focused on the same thing. You get the effect of all ships rising in a high tide. You get to see inside almost like a secret world of people sharing what's working and what's not, and giving you an insight into what lies ahead for you. You get to search in those groups sometimes or work with other members of the community and find out answers to questions that you couldn't just find anywhere else that are super contextual to what you're implementing in the exact stage you're at in your online business. Let's now shift and talk about the benefits of going it alone, because there are some. The first benefit of going it alone is that you get flexibility. You get the ability to kind of do whatever it is you want in your business and to maybe find yourself. And you don't really have to answer to anyone or implement anyone's specific thing. And this allows for you to piece your business together, and it allows for you to kind of do things in the way in which you want, which for some of you might totally fit into your personality and in the characteristics of you as an individual, which there can be a ton of benefits to. The second benefit to going it alone is that then there allows for you to have a different level of originality, where you are really able to do things your way, not follow any specific template or script, and therefore that also allows for you to focus. This allows for you to really drill down and find new ways of doing things. And this allows for you to really have the blinders on if you're capable of doing this alone. And I don't think there are many people. So, a 5% of people in the world and listening to the show, they're going to be therefore able to, instead of going to coaching calls and do accountability and searching through groups, they're going to be able to focus in and almost let the answers come to them and to figure things out a little bit of the hard way, so to say. But for some of us, we do have to figure out the hard way. And so there also might be a time and place where you ebb in between working with a coach and going it alone. That's totally a possibility. Lastly, the third benefit of going it alone is that it is free. And getting into a good coaching program for many of you is something you have to qualify for a really good coaching program. And you also therefore have to qualify through investment. And it's not cheap to work with a really good coach. There's like that idea of you get, fast, cheap, or good, and you can pick two. Well, that also works with coaching and really good programs. There's going to be a barrier to entry, and one of those is going to be price. And so everyone inside of that community is going to be, they've invested a certain amount, and they're going to take it to that level as serious. And so one of the benefits of going it alone is that you don't have that expense, and it becomes free. So in all, the benefits of going it alone is that you have the flexibility to do what it is that you want. You can therefore be more original in what it is that you create, and what you create might not look like anything out there in the marketplace. You get focus. You don't have to show up and be responsible and accountable to anybody else. And so therefore you can have this kind of this focus that comes with flexibility if you're capable of maintaining that and you're capable of doing that. And you listening right now know if you're one of those people or if you're not. And lastly, it's free. And so that can therefore be, your resources can then be channeled into different things and into different strategies and into different areas of your online business, or become more working capital, or can become more of what your take home is. We talked about the good of hiring a coach and the good of going it alone. Now let's talk about the bad. Let's start with hiring a coach, the bad. Well, in some programs, it can kind of be template-y. And what I mean by that is maybe that coach or that program has found a specific way of doing things. And therefore, when you enter the program, you're going to do A, B, and C. And then when you've proven that you've done A, B, and C, now you're going to do the next letters in the alphabet. You're going to do these things in this order. And so that can create a lot of kind of copycat businesses and a lot of cloned businesses. And while that can work for 80% of people, there's going to be a 20% of people where that just doesn't click, that doesn't jive, that doesn't work for their business or for their personality or something like that. And so template can work really well for the 80%, but for some that can just not be the right road you want to go down. Another con of hiring a coach and being in a really good coaching program or in a big coaching program is that it can be distracting. You have these community members, and you have these trainings, and you have these calls to show up to, and you have all these things. And so there is a balance, and I really want for you to consider this when you're looking for the right coach and trying to find that right coaching program, and how much there is inside of it, because it can be distracting, and you can get so distracted learning, back to yesterday's episode, that you don't spend enough time doing. And when you don't get that balance right, that can mean that the success you've had getting to the point of getting in the coaching program, you can easily lose that, and your results can be diminished. And that can therefore cause for you to think about that program and think it's responsible for your lack of results, or even for your slowed down results and the worse results than you've gotten from before. Lastly, when it comes to hiring a coach and the cons or the bad of hiring a coach, is it can be expensive. That can eat into your capital, that can eat into your take home, that can cause for you to get back into a financial scarcity or into a financial scarcity type of mode that does create a downward spiral. Again, good coaching programs cost a lot, but they also have everything else dialed in to help you to continue raising the bar when it comes to your revenue, raising the bar when it comes to your business acumen, raising the bar when it comes to your focus, and therefore raising the bar for all things when it comes to the success kind of lens that we're looking through in your online business and also in your life, in your health, and in your relationships. They can be templaty, they can be distracting when there's too much going on, and they can also be super expensive. We've talked about the 3 quadrants. Let's get into the 4th one of the cons of going it alone. One of the biggest cons that I can think of when it comes to going it alone that I want to talk about here is shiny object syndrome, is that you don't exactly know what thing to implement next. And so you just go about implementing and you go about doing, and you might do so much that not one thing individually works. And you get a lot of parts of things that all work, but then it becomes really hard to figure out what to optimize and what to do next and what to go back and fix, what to get rid of. And so when you have shiny object syndrome, which I think really plagues a lot of people that don't work with a coach, when you don't have those blinders on and your flexibility and your originality gets a little bit out of hand, you wind up doing so much that not one thing really works for a long period of time. And so that shiny object syndrome can really eat into your success and eat into the viability of your online program and your online business. It also is going to take most people longer. It's going to take 95 to 98% of people who don't work with the coach longer to get to where they want to be and longer to hit those milestones and those financial and revenue milestones in their online business. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with it taking longer unless you want for it to go faster and you don't want the path for you to be hard. And working with a coach is almost like having someone who clears the pathway in front of you and just makes it easier for you to operate in the place you're in. You don't need to think further ahead. And you don't need to do any of those things when you have a coach and a mentor who's been there and done that. And when you're going it alone, you need to be thinking about ahead, and you need to be thinking about now, and you need to be thinking about how you piece together the things that you've already done. And so for those reasons, it's going to take 95 to 98% of people longer. And I would dare say for 60 to 70%, you'll never reach, and they'll never reach those goals they're actually going towards. They'll end up staying or stuck, for lack of better words, at the exact level that they're at, not able to break through. And for some, that's long enough to exist in and to make a good financial living. And for others, it creates a downward spiral or never becomes enough. And so you have to figure out different avenues, or you kind of wind up with this Frankenstein business because you aren't really following a specific plan. And so these are all things to consider when you're thinking about hiring a coach or going it alone. Lastly, for the cons of going it alone versus hiring a coach is you do not get that law of 5 going on. Whether you're working with a mentor one-on-one or you're working inside of a larger coaching program that has that community aspect and other coaches and all of those things, well, you are who you're around and you become like the 5 closest people to you. And right now, those people, if you're not in a coaching program and you're not working with a mentor one-on-one, those people are likely your family and friends, and they're great people and we love them, but they may not have the type of vision for your life that you do. They might not even understand it. And without knowing it, they might sabotage your results and your success because of their own limiting beliefs and what they think is possible. And when you work with a coach and a mentor and you're around other students of that coach and mentor and those programs, those people are going to be in a place of possibility, in a realm of possibility, carrying you up with them. So even if you're kind of struggling, you're far more likely to at least be in the right train of thought and to have your heart and your energy in the right place. Versus when you're struggling and you're going it alone, you're now looking at others and starting to take the weight on of the world. And you're starting to really think pessimistically and really struggling to find the answers and cobbling it together and creating that Frankenstein type of business where not any one thing works and it's all kind of pieced together and it's not really cohesive. And, your revenue potential and your net worth can be very, very closely predicted within a 10 to 20% margin based on the people that you're around. And if you're only around your friends and family who have regular everyday people jobs, which there's nothing wrong with, versus being around other coaches who are entrepreneurs and they're investing and they're thinking in a world of possibility like we talked about, and they're already at levels higher than you, and you had to choose which of those is far more likely to carry you upwards versus pull you downwards. And I think it should be the objective of everyone listening to the show to one by one, with that law of five, be very strategically placing people in those chairs for people that you want to be like and that you aspire to be like. And it doesn't all come down to money, and it doesn't all come down to material success. But if those things are important to you and those things are mile markers, then it's worth having 1, 2, or 3, or even more of those seats dedicated to people who already have those things, and they're going to increase the likelihood and the numbers in that spreadsheet and the number in those dials and ratios that lead you to becoming the person that you want to be, to creating the impact that you desire to create, and to living the life that you know you're worthy of. All in all, hiring a coach versus going it alone, man, that's up to you. And that's gonna really dictate your own success and your own life. But I dare say that if you're listening to this show, you're probably someone that's far more likely to hire a coach and to get the help from someone who's already been there and done that, and that has the plan and has the vision and has the community. And for those of you who wanted to go alone, there's nothing wrong with it, but these decisions are going to impact the lifeline that you're on. And so my only words of wisdom for you are to choose wisely. In the next episode, 172, your inputs equal your outputs. Come back tomorrow to understand this mindset and this philosophy so that we can level up your business and level up your life. Whenever you are ready, here are a couple ways I can help you get clients consistently. First, download your free copy of GetBook CRM. Are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox? Well, you're losing leads in the cracks. I guarantee it, as well as clients. And let's start that over. Well, you're losing leads in the cracks, I guarantee it, and it's taking you far longer to get clients and to turn prospects into clients. That's why I created GetBook CRM. What started out as a free and simple way for me to manage my pipeline and to manage my revenue, turning those leads into clients faster, has quickly become a favorite tool of my private students and many members in the Leverage Coach community, which I'll tell you about here in a second. To download your free copy of GetBook CRM, my gift to you, all you have to do is find me on Instagram and send me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I'm a man of my word. I've got coaches, business owners, entrepreneurs, service providers, authors, experts, speakers from all over the world, all implementing my methods and frameworks for starting and growing an online business and getting clients consistently. Get access to my best and my community's favorite resources by joining us now in the Leverage Coach community 100% for free. To get your invite now, just find me over on Instagram or wherever you're getting this show and message me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story, probably the best way that I can help you and for sure the fastest. Every month I get a couple coaches together to implement my methods and frameworks through a custom plan for you to inject a minimum of 15K worth of new clients, or at least double your existing client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is very important to me. So this is only for you if you are a relationship-focused business owner who always puts the clients ahead of the money. You've been growing your online business or working with clients for at least 6 months to a year. You'd like to get a minimum of 3 to 5 new clients every week or month from social media organically without wasting money and time on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on an email list, Facebook group, or social media platform. You are willing to take bold, inspired action because you know that your success depends upon it. And last but most importantly, you can keep a secret. If that's who you want, you grab your phone right now, give that Instagram app a tap, do a little search, find me at What Up Jeremy, give me a follow, binge on some reels while you're there. And when you're ready, I want for you to message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business and about your vision for the next 12 months. Then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the program, about my proven track record for helping coaches, authors, experts, and speakers get clients consistently over the last 10 years of my career. And we'll also identify what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact on your business and life the soonest. That way you know what to expect. For all the details now, just find me over on Instagram and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one. Cheers. All right, team, thank you guys so much for being here. Super appreciate all the likes, reactions, and support. If you got value from this, then you're welcome. And thanks for being here. If you're on LinkedIn, be sure to share this with your connections or drop a comment with what your insight is. That's only gonna help you in the algorithm. It also helps me too, let's be honest here. If you're getting this on Facebook, what is up, my Facebook family? Drop me a reaction, leave a comment with what stood out to you most in today's episode or what advice you might have for someone considering working with a coach or even going it alone. If you are getting this on YouTube. You can hit subscribe and that notification bell while you're here. That way you'll never miss another episode or other videos and content that I put out, hundreds over the last year since 2015. And you can also get the latest episode of the podcast right here, along with the entire list of the episodes right here. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you guys back again tomorrow. Peace out.